That's what I'm thinking. That's all the good
Wow! Jag off. Wow!
Oh my god.
It's gonna be awkward, guys. Get ready. Guys, welcome back to another romantic episode of Hopelessly Animanic, where we talk all things romantic and awkward and filled with anime and manga and all kinds of lovey-dovey goodness. Q. Q.
Oh, hello. Hi. Hello, hi guys.
Do you just not like talking about things romantic and awkward, or is this just gonna be an ongoing thing with you?
Let's just say what if. Let's just say what if, right? This is a what if scenario. This does not have to be true, listeners. Or what if? What if I'm actually talking to someone about romantic stuff? Like, what if someone is already, like, I'm here and there's someone hitting on me and I'm on my phone just responding? You never know. These things could be happening every episode. Maybe that's what's happening.
Okay, well, here's my response to that. Okay. You ready for this?
Okay.
Who could possibly be more important than me? Right?
Okay. You have a point there.
Right? I mean, I was just kind of like putting this together, like as you were, responding with that. But honestly, who could be more important than me?
That's right. Who could be more important? Except Lucky Charms, of course. Lucky Charms is more important than ever.
Well, oh, yeah. Because apparently calling Kiki early in the morning while she's trying to watch the last bit of the anime to let her know, Kiki, guess what I got? And here I'm thinking, oh, it's some important news about the podcast. And he's like, Kiki, I got Lucky Charms. And I'm like, you called me this early in the morning, which honestly wasn't really that early. It's just for Kiki, who likes to sleep in on the weekends, it was considered early. You had to tell me that you got Lucky Charms. And I'm like, well, I guess that means one thing, that our friendship has gotten to the level where we are comfortable doing this. So next time, Q, if I call you early in the morning, it's going to be something ridiculous, like, Q, guess what I did? I just brushed my teeth, and you better love every last second of it. Okay?
I'm going to ask you, first thing I'll say, I was like, do you use Colgate? Did you use Colgate? If that's the one you use, oh, maybe use another one, and, I'll ask, like, nice questions like that, so it'll be cool. Don't worry about it.
Fair enough. All right, well, just get ready. Tomorrow morning, while I'm getting ready for my new job, I am going to call you, and I'm going to be like, guess what I just did? Guess what I just did? And you're going to be like, dude, did you just brush your teeth? And then I'm going to surprise you and throw you a curveball and be like, actually, I didn't. I brushed my hair. And then you're just going to be like, oh, man. She's going to say brushing her teeth. And instead, she said she's brushing her hair. Like, oh, my God, mind blown. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay? All right, good. We're on a roll here.
I think that was the first time I've actually ever called your cell phone, actually. I think that is actually the first time I've called you on your cell phone.
It's okay. I'll forgive you this time, because Lucky Charms are important in our society.
They are. I mean, who would all those people... I'm just putting this out there. All listeners who live in Trinidad and Tobago, do not, and I repeat, do not buy Lucky Charms at all. The reason being is because every time I go to the store, I can't find Lucky Charms, which means you idiots are out there buying it, and I can't get it to buy. And I don't eat other cereals because, well, I eat other cereals when there's nothing else, but Lucky Charms is like the cereal to have. And so you guys need to stop. Like, at least, even if you want to buy, like, if you buy all and there's like at least 2 more on the shelf, that's good. If you only see 2 on the shelf, don't buy it. Just leave it there. I'm coming to buy it, so just leave it there. Just do that for me, please. Thank you very much.
Well then.
Oh wow. So we're not too sure how we're doing this yet. We're still getting comfortable with podcasting, I guess, together, as well as, this type of podcast. And so we're still getting the hang of things, but don't worry, guys. We'll be, making it all beautiful and stuff for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And I sound like I'm wrapping up the show. Kiki, what are we supposed to do now?
This is the part where we tell them that we are finally on a roll here. We're knocking out one animanga, which I learned is a term today. Yeah. Animanga. Basically, it means a manga transformed into an anime. So instead of saying anime/manga, it's just animanga. So now we can start using that term. So anyway, guys, we are down to one animanga a week, and we're discussing it. And this most recent one was requested by one of you guys. Woo, woo, woo. And this one, we both finished. I think that's the first time we did it. With the exception of Peach Girl, but that was because I had already watched Peach Girl in the past. But this is the first animanga that we both finished together. And not only that, it's an animanga that we both absolutely loved.
We adored the thing. It was just too beautiful, and yeah, we kind of were watching it at the same time because we were both watching it today at the same time, and like in between, like, while we're watching, like, I'll call Kiki, like, Kiki, how far are you? She's like, oh, I'm 1 episode ahead of you, and I'm like, oh, damn it. And I go,
yeah, that was pretty hilarious. He called me and he's like, Kiki, I'm on my way home. How far are you? And I'm like, I'm on episode 21. And he's like, damn it, you're an episode ahead of me. And I'm like, it's just because I'm amazing. I mean, if we're speaking truthfully, right?
You are amazing, but I would have finished before you do if I did not watch that stupid football game that lost.
Okay, well, whose fault is that, right?
The stupid football team. They should have won.
No, it's not the... Okay, you didn't have to watch it. You chose to do that.
It's in the man guidebook that I have to watch sports and stuff, and if I do, then I lose my man card, So.
I don't think so. No.
It's written there in fine writing on, in a line somewhere there. It's like must watch sports, and if I don't, they say they're gonna come and reclaim my man card. So,
I think that's a load of baloney, to be honest. There's this whole concept of the man code, and I don't think it really exists.
It does. Guys have a code. Like, for example, let's see. There is, you must watch sports. You never hit on a friend's girl.
Okay, that's not the man code. That's the bro code. It's a little different.
Well, it's kind of the same thing. It's all in the guide.
But it's really not.
You're not a guy, you don't know these things. Anywho, we have a podcast to do, and so we should get into it. So, this episode is about an anime called... Kiki, how about telling the listeners about what we're watching?
It's called A Lull in the Sea.
And isn't there a Japanese name for it? Do you know the Japanese name?
There is a Japanese name for it, but I didn't even bother learning it because it was just so much easier to say a lull in the sea. So, guys, it's a lull in the sea. Type it in. The Japanese name will come up with it, okay? Okay.
No,
can't be put on this type of pressure.
I would have looked up the name and read it for you guys, but as you guys know, I suck at saying Japanese words, so I'm not even gonna try. I'm sorry.
I'm a little good at it.
You're
right?
better than me. You're way better than me at it. So.
Maybe it's just because I have a tongue for other languages, because I did take a little bit of Spanish, enough that I'm can communicate, and Japanese has nothing to do with Spanish, so never mind. Just disregard everything I just said.
Oh, okay. How about saying hi to the listeners in Spanish? Let's hear your Spanish for a bit.
Hola, mis amigos.
Is that all? You can say, like, welcome to the Hopelessly Animanic podcast. This is Kiki and Q. You could have added that in there in Spanish.
Bienvenido el podcast de Q and Kiki. I accidentally slipped in an and here, so hold on, let me redo that. Bienvenido el podcast de Q y Kiki.
Aww. You see, though, we appealing to our Spanish listeners,
Llama Hopelessly Animanic.
We're gonna have, like, a million more Spanish listeners now. They're gonna be like, oh my god, these guys speak Spanish. We can listen to them now. We can understand.
All I said was welcome to the podcast.
That's all they're gonna get to. They're gonna reach that point. Like, for some reason, all the Spanish listeners are gonna start listening to the show, and they're gonna start at this point for some apparent reason, which is like in the middle of the beginning, and they're gonna understand, and it's gonna be perfect. Don't worry about it. Just
okay, I won't worry. I won't question it. I'll just go with it.
Okay, so we've already established that we like this anime. We already know that we like this anime. So how about we get into why we like this anime? So, Kiki, first things first.
Yes.
First episode, you got into it. You sat down. You got comfortable.
I laid down actually. Let's be specific. I was laying in my bed.
Okay, so you lay in your bed, comfortable, which is technically what I did too. I did the same thing. And
I had my laptop.
Oh, cuddling with the laptop. The laptop was keeping all warm and stuff. It was like, I got to cuddle with Kiki. Oh.
Yeah.
And so you have your laptop, get a call and everything, and you're all comfortable, and you're about to watch this anime, and you put it on. First thought, instantly, as you put it on, and the first 5 minutes, what were you thinking?
I was like, this is so cool. Because here's what it is, guys. So the premise of the story is there are like these two races of people, and one race lives in the water, and one race lives in the surface, on the surface, right? Not surface, on the surface. But regardless, so they live in the water, and you would think like, oh, they're like mermaid people, when actually no, they are just regular people walking around at the bottom of the sea. But yeah, they're in the sea. So I just thought that was so cool. Like, you always hear stories about mermaids like living in the water and going all crazy, but not often do you like read a story or watch a movie about people just, walking around at the bottom of the ocean, just like, hey, what's up? Waving to each other just like we would do on the street. So it's literally just like our society, just instead of breathing in oxygen and chemicals from, pollution, they're breathing in air or water. Oh my gosh, they're breathing in water. So, and not only that, these kids, or I should say this society, they can also be on the surface. They can be in the water and on the surface.
For a period of time on the surface, though, they need to moist themselves up again.
Yeah, they could dry out if they're up there too long, so...
Yeah, they could dry out. They have to walk with, like, a constant supply of lube.
Yes. I wouldn't call it lube necessarily, but, I mean, whatever floats your boat, Q.
Whatever floats my boat, indeed. I feel so comfortable, like, saying these things now on the podcast, now that I've gotten to know Kiki a bit more, and it's not like, it's not like I can't say those kind of things because I know she's like a super perv, so it's like, I can totally say these things to her.
I like that. I'm a super perv. I'm not just a perv. This could be like my superhero name.
Super perv, yeah. You'd have a P on your chest, and when you like someone is out there and they're not saying pervy stuff or they're like really innocent, you will rip your shirt off and there'll be a superhero suit underneath, like Superman, and you'd be super perv to the rescue, and you'll turn
oh my god.
It'd be so
add this to my list of names, super perv.
Super perv.
When in doubt, call the super perv.
It's a plane, it's a bird, it's a super perv. Oh. Okay, so your first thoughts, you were like, this is super cool, which is what I was thinking too, because when I first saw them leaving their houses and stuff, and I'm like, at first it looks normal, you couldn't tell they're in water because they're doing all these normal things, and then all of a sudden they're just walking and you see fishes swimming, so I'm like, holy crap, fish can fly in the sky, and then you see bubbles, and I'm like, holy crap, this is underwater, and I'm like, yes.
Exactly. That's kind of like how I was. I'm like, wait a minute, is that a fish? And then I'm like, oh my god, there's freaking fish. They're in the water. And it was so cool.
It was super cool.
It was so awesome how like they did that. Like they tricked you, and I totally respect not just animes, but like, you know, entertainment in general that like is a mind trickery. It's like, hey, this is normal. Oh wait, no, it's not. And you're just like, oh my god, it's so cool.
For some reason, you sounded like me there for a second. Oh wow, that's pretty interesting.
It means we're hanging out too much, Q. Well,
Yeah.
well, no, not too much. There's no such thing as too much, because we're pretty awesome people.
We're gonna rub off on each other, and then eventually we're gonna be one weird kind of morph version of each other.
I'm sorry, we're gonna what? We're gonna rub off? Bazinga. Sorry.
You see what I mean, listeners? I am having an innocent moment, you know, and Kiki decides to, you know, dirty it all up with her super perv abilities.
I mean, you set yourself up for that one. I just kind of follow through with it.
I was just saying that, you know, when you spend time with people, you know, certain behavioral traits just happen to just pass on. You know?
Just, alright.
You know. So, next question about this anime, one thing that we want to know, and I'm sure the listeners already know what I'm going to ask, because I ask this for every anime that we watch, and and I'm sure you know what I'm going to ask. And my question is, who is your favorite character? Who do you love so much? And there's so much to love, so it's like hard, but I know.
Yeah, it was so hard deciding who my favorite character was, because I liked all of them for different reasons. I
wonder if she's gonna pick the one I pick.
Oh my goodness, I'm trying to decide, because like I was thinking about this throughout the entire anime. I'm like, who do I like the best? And gosh, this is so difficult. You know what? I'm gonna say it. I like Chikari.
Chikari? Is that the blue-haired chick?
Yes, that's the blue-haired one. I'm gonna say her. And here's the reason. I would have picked Manaka, but my problem with her is she cries too much. Like, and I get that that's a thing with anime, like girls just cry a lot. For whatever reason, anime just feels the need to make girls cry like all the time, which is okay. But for me, I was like, stop crying. You don't need to be crying right now. Like so many times she was like that. But anyway, I think I'm going to stick to my answer and say Chikari. Am I saying that right? I'm probably not. I'm sorry. I'll just call
her Chica, wasn't it? Wasn't that?
They call her Chi, so I'll just call her Chi. So she was my favorite, and I think it's because she is the most honest to herself the entire time, and she was so worried about changing, and you know, no one would like the changed her, but it you know, she doesn't ever change. She is herself throughout the entire time. You know what I mean? Which I kind of like that. And the only thing I didn't like about her is I didn't like that her and Sumugu ended up together, because I wasn't shipping them, but I was happy that she was happy by the end of it. So spoiler alert, guys.
Huge spoiler alert. Oh my god.
Sorry, guys.
And that's the weird thing. Now here's the thing, right? Now my favorite character is, strangely enough, actually Sumugu. And
see, I was thinking about him too, but I don't know.
I like how he's so straightforward. Like, I really like. I like to think I'm a straightforward person. Like, I'm pretty straightforward with most things. But there are a lot of times where, like, I may like someone and we may be friends, and I may be like, I'm not going to tell them because I don't want to mess up my friendship, which is what a lot of the characters in the anime are going through. They're all like, I like this person, but I don't want to tell them because it's going to change everything, and when our friendships is not going to be the same, and all that kind of stuff. And so, for me, it's like, I think that way as well. If I have a close friend and we have a certain percentage of a friendship, and if I like them, even though I'm a straightforward person, I'm highly unlikely to tell that friend, hey, I like you, in that kind of way. Unless, of course, that friend shows me some form of, a hint that they actually like me, then I'd actually be, I'd be, okay, this is actually possible. But with Samugu, he's straightforward. He'll basically come on and tell you, hey, I like you. And accept it. And he's like, he reads everyone. He knew everyone's feelings. He could tell. He didn't care if he was hurting your feelings. And it's not like he didn't care. It was more like he just said the truth. He always spoke the truth, and I loved that about him. At first, it was a bit like I was like, this guy's annoying, and then I was just like, but he's actually right, and he's making sense, and because everyone else is beating around the bush. They like someone, they don't want to tell them, and he's just like, you know what? I'm not like that, and he just says what comes on his mind, even if it's not him just telling someone that he likes them. He just is honest with everyone. Like when he first met what's her name, the girl with the, you called her name before, it's an M name,
Manaka,
right?
They pronounce it like Monica in this anime.
Yes.
I am like almost 100% positive that in the Japanese version it's Manaka.
Okay, so we'll call it anyway. Manaka or Monica, whichever way it works. And
I prefer.
I like
Manaka,
when they
please.
Okay, let's go with Manaka. Let me not upset my co-host. It's Manaka. And I like when they first met, and she had the fish on her knee, and he was so kind. He was just like, it's cool, and I like it, and I was like, that is like,
he was I see. He was one of my favorites too. Definitely my top three were Chi, Manaka, and Samugu, but I just see there were just some things about Samugu that I was kind of like how you said
sometimes.
not a bit off, but there were some times where I'm like, okay, is he going to show any development? And I think that was my biggest problem with him, and why I can't say he's my favorite is because even though Chi, she was the same, she was true to herself, she still grew. She grew up, and you've seen a development with her throughout the anime, versus Samugu was just the same. He was just he didn't evolve, he didn't change as a character. Nothing was different from him from episode 1 to the very end. And I'm a very character driven person when it comes to any sort of fiction. I love character development, and I like seeing characters grow up and evolve and change with their surroundings and change with their environment. And I feel like he, of all the characters, was the least likely to show any change, and he had really no arc. He didn't start one way in the beginning and evolve for the better by the end. He was just same old Samugu from start to finish.
With Samugu, no, I agree. His personality never changed throughout the show, but I like to think that Samugu did grow, because when he was younger, he didn't really seem like he paid any interest to, he was actually that interested in anyone. He was just okay, I'm gonna be a good friend kind of guy, And to me, while I was watching, I always assumed he was just gonna be their friend. He had no interest in any of the girls. It never seemed like he actually had any interest in any of them. Even though there were girls who liked him, he just didn't seem like he was interested in any of them. And I like at the end where he's actually interested in Chi. When you see right after he and Chi are living together, and they're moving around. There's a scene where they're moving around the kitchen together, and they're just in symmetry. He needs something, she already reads his mind, and she passes it to him. He just ducks underneath her and goes into the cupboard or the fridge and grabs what he wants, and they just melt. They kind of mesh together really nicely. And I don't see that happening when he was younger. I never saw him being that kind of guy that would go and tell a girl hey, I like you. And also too, he showed a lot of emotion, which I think that was his flaw, that he found with himself. He wasn't as emotional, which is what he was telling oh god, I can't remember anyone's names.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about, but I think if they just would have shown more evidence of that in the beginning of the anime, because I feel like it was kind of thrown on us too quickly. he was pretty much the same person up until episode 20, where he finally is like, by the way, I like Chi. And it's like, whoa, wait, what?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
That
Like, if they would have shown, even in the beginning of the show, like, there was one point when they were younger kids, he's like, you know, you're beautiful. Like, that one moment, if it just tint his cheeks, give him some reaction so that, like, this is making him uncomfortable, so that we see, okay, he is not good with talking to girls like this, so, and just something right there would have been enough for me. But instead, he's just saying that, like as you said, he's just saying it as a friend, like, you're beautiful. And then later on in the show, he's like, that's the first time, like, I ever admired you, or something like that. It's like, I didn't know that. Like, he said it to her just the same way he was talking to Manaka just a couple of days ago. So I think if just at that moment when he says to her, you know, you're beautiful, when they're kids, and show that, like, he shies away or something like that, just so we get a hint, like, oh, he's nervous, he's shy right now, then we understand that when he gets older and he's like, I do actually like her, we're like, see, he's evolving. But because it was just so sudden and so, like, hey, even though we gave no hints of this prior, here you go, here's a romance. It's like, oh, it's too much, too fast, I can't handle it.
It's just beautiful. There are so many characters and it's so beautiful and stuff like that. And I feel I must add, because you did mention that you mentioned your top 3 characters, which mine are a bit different. Sumugi obviously is my favorite. And my second favorite will actually be Chi, because I thought she was the cutest girl of the girls that, the options for girls in the story. She was the cutest. And she was, I guess, maybe it was because she was the most well-developed too. I don't know. Maybe, whatever. And then there's, I can't remember her name right now, but the sister's stepdaughter. What's her name again? Miyuna. She's my third favorite. I really liked how Miyu kind of how she started off as this little kid, and you could tell, like, you could instantly see when she started liking the main character, and then you can see that, like, just like her friend too as well, which I like her friend as well a lot, because she's like spunky, and I like spunky chicks, so her friend is like super spunky, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's too cute. I like her spunk when she's like, oh, whatever, and stuff like that, especially for her story ending. It was just warming. I knew they were gonna end up together, like the two of them. I was just like, they're gonna, like, the time from the point of this, the second half of the story, and everyone, they became the same age. I was like, they're gonna be together. It's already there. It's written in the script. I can tell. And I guess that leads into my next question. Who were you shipping from the beginning of the anime? Who were you shipping?
Okay, I got this. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
So I was shipping Manaka and Sumugu, of course. I wanted them together so bad. Then I was shipping Kaname and Chi.
Mm-hmm.
And I was shipping I think that's his name. Hikari and Miyuna.
Ooh.
Those were my three couples I wanted, and none of them ended up that way. It just made me so upset. None of my shipped couples happened, so I was really depressed.
It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it. So my original shipping was like yours. I shipped Sumugu and me. Oh god, I forgot her name already. Manaka. So I shipped it because when they first meet and you see he pulls all of the water in the net and they look at each other and I'm like, oh, this is love. They're gonna love each other. This is perfect.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, don't worry. Dude's gonna get his heart hurt, but that's life. And he's gonna start liking, he's gonna actually start liking Chi, and it's gonna work out. And that didn't happen for me either. They didn't like each other. But I guess, that's the good thing about when I like when I'm watching an anime and what I think is gonna happen doesn't happen. Then it surprises me, because once I know what's gonna happen, it's like, well, I know how the script is gonna go, and then I end up on my phone texting people or doing stuff while I'm watching anime. But This time I couldn't. I couldn't actually pull my phone out and actually use it. I only used my phone during episodes, like when the intro music was playing. And then that was it. Which, that leads to my next question, actually. It's like, what do you think of the music, Kiki?
The music was adorable, wasn't it? I thought it was adorable.
It was sweet. It was so sweet.
Right?
I love
it. Was so cute. Yeah, I loved, and the first half, like season 1, technically, because the first 13 episodes are like season 1, and the second 13 episodes are like season 2, and it makes it pretty obvious. But anyway, they like the end music for season 1 was so cute because it was like so bubbly and so everywhere. So yeah, what do you think of it, Q?
I liked how the first season had really, like you said, bubbly music. I like that. I was actually, bouncing around in bed while watching it, because literally I spent the weekend away from home, and I'm in bed, and I'm watching, like, I have my laptop on the bed and I'm watching anime, because normally I don't watch anime from my laptop. I normally put it on my desktop and I'm in bed, watching it. But because I wasn't at home, I had my laptop and I'm watching, and I'm in bed, I'm watching, I'm like, oh my god, this is so good, and I'm bouncing in bed, like, like what dudes shouldn't do. Don't forget that, female listeners, I am not bouncing in bed. As far as you know, I'm doing manly stuff like grunting and stuff. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, it was really, really adorable, and I liked it, and I was just like so excited about it. And then the second season, I find the music was a perfect contrast to what was going on in those seasons, and especially not just the music but the art style. It was like it reflected the whole atmosphere of what was going on when they were kids, and they were innocent, and things were going on, and no kind of calamities were happening. Everything was bright and colorful, and the music was like that as well. And then in the second season, the music is a lot less that. It's slower paced, it's a little sadder, you can get a little sadness in it. It's still sweet though, like really, really sweet, but it's sadder. The colors are less, they're not as vibrant, they're like, more grayed out versions of themselves. And I liked that. I liked that it did contrast the whole atmosphere. It set a really good atmosphere for everything. It was just beautiful. Oh, love the music. Great anime.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so I have one last question. Okay, and let me see if I can ask this question very nice, like. All right, so Kiki, are you with me here?
I'm with you.
Okay, perfect. I need you to close your eyes. Can you close your eyes?
Okay, I'm closing my eyes.
Okay, listeners, I need you to do the same thing, so you need to close your eyes. Alright, so I need you to just start imagining for a second that, think of all the nice things in your life. Think of all the things that you like. Maybe it's someone you have a crush on. Maybe it's a job you like. Maybe it's curry, like in my case.
Sorry, it's okay. I'm like that with mac and cheese. That's right.
I don't think I've ever heard Kiki laugh this much. This is actually really good. Okay. So, you're thinking of those things, right, Kiki? Are you thinking of it?
I'm thinking.
Okay, now think, what if the sea god approaches you and says, here's what, Kiki, you could live under the sea and live in this village just like all the sea people and all that kind of cool stuff, and breathe underwater and all that kind of good things, but you had to give up everything you had on the surface. Would you give up your current life to live as a character in the anime, or would you not?
See, this is tough because for me, I'm very into the whole like elements and stuff. Like ever since I was a kid, I've always really believed in the elements, and being an Aquarius, my element is of course water. And I always feel most comfortable when I'm swimming, or when the one time I was at the beach, like that was seriously like the happiest, like watching the waves and stuff was seriously like the happiest thing in my life. And water is totally my element. We've made that quite obvious at this point. But
for 1 second before you continue, you said the one time you were at the beach, you've only been to the beach once?
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay,
that's
continue.
That's a whole story in itself, by the way. But I was only at the beach once, and sitting there in the sand in front of the water and just listening and hearing it, it was seriously like I've never been more at peace with myself. And anyway, so like my dream, like one of those, like, you know how when you're a kid and you always tell yourself, I want that one like superpower that you know you'll never get, but you dream about it and wish for it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It was always to breathe underwater, so I could just be underwater forever. But even with all of that in mind, with the few things that are most precious to me on the surface, which, you know, there's love, and there's my cat, and there's my family, you know, all those things, and there's, you know, of course, mac and cheese, in your case, curry. I couldn't give that up.
And
I couldn't.
you?
As much as in my queue.
Well, that's good. Because I was saying, if no
as much as I. But like, as much as I would do anything to, you know, live in the water and just be at one with my element, I couldn't give up the things and the people that are most precious to me.
Oh, that's so sweet. You ended in such a nice, subtle, sweet way. And I gotta agree. I don't think I could give up the you know, it's not really the things that I have that I would give up everything I have in a heartbeat. But because, you know, my computer, food, all those kind of things, those aren't that important to me. But the relationships I have with people are important to me. Those that I'm close to, those are really important. And if I had to give that up, I would not want to do that. You know, if I had to give up, you know, all the physical things I had in my life, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I don't need my computer or my video games or, you know, all that kind of stuff. I could give that up with ease. But those relationships are important to me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, if the sea god came to me and said, you can keep everything, but I want all of your video games, I want all of your technology, everything that you own, I want it. I'd say, you can take it. As long as I can keep those that are precious to me, that's all that matters to me. And that is something that I couldn't give up, because there are a handful of people in this world that I literally could not live without. And if I had to choose them or living under the ocean for the rest of eternity, I would choose them. I would.
And that's what I hope. I don't know what listeners are going to choose. Hopefully tell us what you choose if you're listening to this podcast. Maybe you leave a comment on our Facebook page and tell us what you actually chose, so we'll know, you know, would you choose to live in the sea? Maybe you actually, you know, live near the sea and actually crave this forever, and maybe you have like one person in your life that's like, you know, or maybe you have no one. Well, you do. You actually have two people. You have us. We're in your life right now, you know. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're part of your life now. You actually have to have us. Like, just listening right now. You're pretty cool. We like you. Anywho, I've asked all the questions I have, and normally when I'm finished with questions, I go and I have a curry break, because I like curry, and yeah, I don't know. Kiki, what should we do? I'm lost again.
I guess is it that time for our break already? Are we just killing past this podcast today?
I think it's because it was so in like, this is just so good. Like, we can just easily go past it because we're on the same page. We both watched the whole thing and we both liked it so much. You know what I mean? I think it's fine. And now it's a good time to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I think it's time for our break.
Okay, so listeners, thank you for joining us for the first half of Hopelessly Animanic. And we'll be right back. So let's meet up, and we'll try. That'll be interesting. And we're back to the podcast.
There we go. What up, guys? What up, what up, what up?
Oh my god, I can't actually include that intro because there are some things that said that I need to edit out. Oh my god.
You just gotta catch it right at the end. It'll be okay.
If I catch it right at the end, no one will know what we were talking about, would they?
Exactly. Just at the end. See, this is why you consult me for everything.
You see? That's what I'm talking about.
I got your back.
You're like my confidant.
I got your back, bro. All right, Q. So, I decided on some questions, and the rest I'm just gonna kind of make up as I go, because I got a couple, and hopefully this will take up enough time that we'll discuss and we'll marinate, and hopefully another follow-up question will come. So anyway, Q, my first question. And this is something that I've always wondered. Like, even when I was in middle school, I used to wonder this. So, what did you think of the ages of the characters? And what I mean by this is, can 14-year-olds reach a maturity level that will determine if they know what love is and if they can decide who they love at such a young age?
Okay. I'm gonna just use myself as an example. When I was 14, there was this girl in my class that I was really, really into, and I met her. The first time I met her, I really liked her because she had I found her really attractive. She had like these her eyes were kind of Asian-ish, and the first time we met, I didn't even the first time we met, it was a friend of mine that I knew for some years, and her were playing. It was her first day at school actually, and it started secondary school. I was about 11 at that time, and we had just met, and she was running with my friend. They were like running around the school, and I was just there with my parents, because we were doing like the whole tour, kind of getting a gist of what the school's like. And I was like, oh, look at these kids just running across the floors of the school. They're like such children. But then they came by me and they're like, hey, and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, she's pretty cute. And by the time when we finally were in a class together, we were in Form 2, I think. And I think that's when I realized, like, hey, I really, really like this girl. And I never really did tell her that at first. Like, I was, at that point in time, I was shy. I didn't know to talk to girls and all that kind of stuff. Kind of like the characters in the anime. And eventually I did. And, I'm not going to go into too much details. Anywho, I think it is possible for them to know what, love is. Not in the same extent as someone who's gone through a few things in life. Granted, I do think that some older people don't know what love is either. Because some people, age doesn't actually, age doesn't really matter when it comes to stuff like love and those kind of things. So I think, except if they're like under like a baby or something like that, then obviously you're a pedophile. But I mean, like, age doesn't matter because of the fact that you can feel love for someone even though you're at a young age. It depends on your maturity level. So granted, those kids were not mature, but they did feel strong emotional ties to each other. I mean, when you get older, you'll find more people that you love. You'll find people that you love, and then they'd either break your heart, like me, and then you just like move on and find someone else, or you'd have no one. You just have Curry and Lucky Charms, or you'd basically, why are you laughing at me?
No reason. Continue.
Or you'll find someone else to love, and you'll actually learn from your mistakes, and you learn to choose someone better to love. So it's not about knowing how to love, it's knowing who to love. I guess that's the moral there.
I think my biggest thing is going off of exactly what you just said is, when I was in middle school, I had the biggest crush on a boy in my class, and I had known him since I was in kindergarten. And I, every day, would write in my journal about him and how much I loved him and all of this and all of that. And there was no one else that I ever wanted to be with. And it's safe to say that we did not end up together. And I think back on it, and it wasn't that he treated me bad. It wasn't that he was mean to me. And hell, it wasn't even that we just weren't compatible. I mean, he just didn't feel that way about me, but I was convinced that I loved him and he was the only person that I could ever be with. And I look back on it and I'm like, I had no idea what love was. And if I would have so when I think about these kids in this anime, now again, this is based off of Japanese culture and the maturity of these kids, and as you said, maturity plays a big factor into it. But who's to say? We'll just take Manaka and Hirikari. His head is God. I can't remember. I can't pronounce his name. But we'll just take them for example. So they say they love each other and they start dating. And what if they have a terrible fight and they break up and then they're like 10 years down the road, they're like, I never actually loved them. And it's like, well, yeah, you were 14. Like, you didn't even, like, start your menstrual cycle yet. Like, how do you...
No,
you get what I mean?
Actually, I don't. Here's the thing, though. I understand what you're saying, but here's why I disagree. The thing is that, like, when you, like, for example, all the people I've loved in my life, I will never deny the fact that I love them, whether or not we didn't work or anything like that. It doesn't mean that I didn't love them. I truly, all the girls that I've actually loved in my life in a romantic way, I did love. I truly, honestly did love them. And whether or not if the relationship didn't work, it means that I grew to dislike them. It doesn't mean that I didn't love them at the time that we were together. And so I think if two people are in the same place, in the same mindset and whatever have you, and they're willing to work on it, then they can love each other no matter their age, once they're actually willing to work on it. If you decide to break up, or you have a fight or whatever have you, it just means that you grew to not love the person anymore. It doesn't mean that you didn't love them in the first place. So I think you can love someone no matter your age. It's just that you can also grow to dislike someone, and that is also a possibility. So yeah.
Fair enough. I guess for me, like my biggest thing was with Hikari and Manaka. I was like, a perfect example was she's 14, and at first she knows she really likes Sakari, but then she meets Smuku, and she's like, I really like Smuku, and then she's like, well, then I don't know who I like, and then she tells a slug, well, I actually love Hikari, and it's like, okay, jeez, girl, like, you keep jumping back and forth. How can you decide, maybe they do love each other in that moment, but it's like, how can you believe this love story when they're 14 years old and maybe in 10 years they break up? And it's like, my dreams have just been crushed. Like,
you can love multiple people at the same time, though. Like, someone can love two people at the same time. A mature adult, can understand that I can love two people. I can be in love with two people, but if I'm truly committed to someone, then I only express my love to that person that I truly committed to, that I am with. So for example, I can be in love with someone and meet someone else who's so cool and so awesome, and somehow find myself falling in love with this person. But as a mature adult, I can say, okay, great, I recognize these feelings, but I cannot act upon them because of the fact that I have someone else, and I truly love and care for that other person even more than the person that I may be feeling feelings for. So yeah, I still think she's justified in her love. Just they're too young to actually, I guess, I want to say they're too young to not to love, but too young to actually.
Oh, I'm not saying they're too young to love, but I just mean like an ending love, like a final, this is who I'm with for the rest of my life kind of love. Like, I'm not doubting that they don't know how to love. I think anybody can love. You can be 10 years old and love, and you can be 80 years old and find love. I just mean, like, do you think for them being 14 and deciding this is who I'm spending the rest of my life with, like, do you think that that's a little far-fetched?
It's possible. I'm saying, if when I was 14, if the girl that I loved me back the same way, and stuff worked out, hey, I'd probably still be dating her right now. We'd still be in a relationship and things would be awesome. I'm just saying. For me personally, I'm just that committed the kind of person. If I am in love with someone and they're in love with me and we're together, for me, as far as I'm concerned, the minute I start dating a chick, I'm like, well, I'm already planning marriage in my head, and how I want to paint the walls and shit, and what kind of lights and fixtures I want to have, and should we have a fence or not.
You're also the type of person where you just don't date anybody. Like, you have to really find somebody, and I'm the same way. Like, I don't just date anyone. It's why I've been single for almost 3 years. Like, well, I mean, I've dated people but I've never been in like a serious relationship for 3 years, and it's because, you know, by some point, like, they decide that it's not going to work, or I decide it doesn't work. And it's because, like, I have to be completely sure that I trust and love that person before I can become emotionally committed to them. And usually, it doesn't take long to figure out, or for something to happen to be revealed that this wasn't the person I'm supposed to be with.
There's a weird thing about me though. Like for me, I like the minute that I know that I love someone, they instantly have 100% of my trust. So for example, if I meet a girl and we click, and our chemistry works, and we spend time together, and then we realize, holy crap, we like each other that way. She basically gets 100% of my trust. It's up to her to lose it. And that's the thing, like, you could lose my trust over time. When you lose it, you don't gain it back. So once you've lost my trust, no matter what you try after that point in time, I basically am always questioning you. Whereas before, when I first meet you and you're all nice and you haven't done anything to, you know, make me question you, you have 100% of my trust. You can come and tell me, hey Q, the sky's falling. I'm like, holy shit, we need to dig holes. Like, that's just how far that's just how much trust I put in someone. And so, you know, to me, it's like, it doesn't really matter to me, and when it comes to, like, you know, people building up trust and stuff like that. It's just that once I'm in love with someone, once I find someone that I click with and I actually feel that I'm in love with, it just works that way. And I think the characters in the anime could potentially be like me. I mean, I like to be optimistic and think that they could be like me. You know, maybe they're just, you know, they live in a small town too, you know, so there's very little options when it comes to other people. So.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on. We spent a lot of time on that question, so let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
All right, so as much as we both enjoyed and loved the whole underwater society and the whole village underwater, what are your thoughts as far as the realism goes? By that, I mean there's paper there's electricity, there's books, and under the simple fact, there's gravity. And simple science will tell you being underwater is pretty much zero gravity. It's why we kind of just float around when we're underwater. So, what are your thoughts as far as that goes?
Okay. Now, I'm gonna just try to be like a total know-it-all, and like underwater is not like complete zero gravity or close to. It's like you can sink. I'm just saying there are people who can't swim and they sink. But then again, I'm gonna be like a total me and apologize and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be a total know-it-all. And now I'm actually gonna answer your question. I call BS. I like instantly at the beginning when I saw that, I was like, yep. Wait a minute, they're cooking in the water? What are they cooking with? Where are they getting water? Is it like denser water than the normal water? How are they cooking this food?
Yeah, that was my thought. I'm like, wouldn't like the ingredients just kind of like float out of the bowl? Okay, so we were on the same page, because I was like, wait a minute, how is that stuff staying in the pot? Like, how are they watching
under the sea?
How are they watching television right now? The TV is on underwater.
And Dad's reading the papers. Like, I'm like, okay, so you've got to be kidding me, right? Like, you're reading the paper, and you're underwater, and the paper's not, you know, like totally turned to slug and just floating away, you know, in shreds of paper. But one thing I would like to say, it's magic. Like, yeah, that's most likely why it's possible. The sea god's magic is probably making anything that comes in contact with them or whatever. I don't know. This weird stuff. It's magic. It's weird, though. It was hard to wrap my mind around it, but I think when you start watching this anime, the first thing you have to do is decide to switch your mind off and just enjoy the romance that's going on.
Yeah, that's what I eventually had to do. I just had to be like, okay, I understand. They're just, you know, in their own little society. I just blamed everything on the sea god. I was like, the sea god makes this possible, so I trust him.
He was a total, you know, idiot, though. He was also like, didn't know his feelings and shit, didn't know who really loved him. Stupid sea god.
Right? Like, what are you doing, man? Like,
you send your girl back to another dude? Like, seriously? I would never do that. I don't care. I'm sorry, man. I'm keeping my goo. I don't
Right?
share. I don't like sharing. I'm sorry. I don't share with my women.
I mean, you have to commend him though, because he was like, he cared more about her than like his own feelings. So I was like, I was into that. I was like, okay, I can get on this boat. And okay, like, so what were you okay, so I guess this is the follow-up question. So like, when, you know, they found Manaka and everything, and like they realized her memory was gone, what did you think happened?
I think they shocked under the sea, right? So I'm thinking like, you know, gone all up in that and stuff. I'm kidding.
Wait, who shagged under the sea?
Actually, I'm kidding. Though at some point I was thinking when they were saying like the sea god, you know, they were telling the whole story of, you know, how the sea god did with his wife and they had kids. I'm thinking, holy crap, did he like, you know, totally molest that little girl? Like, is that what he did? Yeah, I mean, and he just take it all away. But I think what happened was he took her, and there's one weird thing that happened in that scene, like when she's going down to the bottom of the ocean, and then there's like an instant kind of like boom, like she hits the ground and like everything just flies in there. I'm like, isn't she dead by it? Like, holy crap, how hard is he gonna like pull her to the ground, at the bottom of the sea at least? And I think he just kind of kept her there and you know, stared at her all creepy like an old perv or something.
Wait, who stared at her like an old perv?
The sea god.
Oh. Okay. Sorry. Zoned out for a second. Well then, there we go.
What do you think happened?
Well, mine was more awesome. I was like, okay, so she gets taken as I knew they took her as I know the sea god took her as the lady, whatever. So I knew that. What I didn't know was, okay, why is her memory lost? And then I was like, wait a minute. There was I remembered the story, like, you know, the sea god took something away from the lady, like, when he sent her back up to the surface. So I was like, oh my god, what if, Manaka gave up her love for Sumugu in order for them to be saved and everything. And then I was like, oh my god, everything makes sense now. Like, everything was starting to click together. I was like understanding, oh, she gave up her love for him and here he is loving another girl, and like all of it was like, oh, it's so tragic but it's so beautiful. And then I was like, nope. She loved Akari.
I didn't think she loved I actually noticed that she loved Akari. I know she loved him the minute she said, I'll talk to you after the festival. Like, that moment was the moment I was like, yeah, she loves him. She wants some of that action. She's just gonna get all up in that. And so yeah, that was the moment I thought. So like, I knew she gave up the love. Like when she started, it was forgotten. I was like, she obviously forgot that she loved him. But I never thought she loved Sumugu at that point. I thought she loved Sumugu at the beginning, but by the point in time she told him that she wants to talk to him after the festival, I was like, yeah, she loved that dude. She's gonna come up to him and say, hey, let's get the show going, you know? Yeah, that's okay. I know women, don't worry about it. I can tell when they love someone.
I just really wanted them together. I really wanted them together. Like, that first scene, I was like, that's it. That's love right there. And then it was taken from me, and I'm really upset about it.
I actually kept switching who I thought should be with who, depending on things that were going on, because then there were times when I was like, oh my god, she should be with this one. And I'm like, no, she should be with him. And I'm like, I'm like always thinking someone else would have someone else. But then, by the end of the first season, I'd already made up my mind who I wanted with who. And by that point in time, I had made up my mind about the characters who they ended up with. So it was cool. Yeah, no, it was nice.
Alright, well, anywho's. So, my last question that I have here. If you were in the anime, who would you pursue? As far as, like, who would you go after?
Okay, now there's some very... Now, remember, listeners, if I'm in the anime, I'm 14 too, so this is not creepy. So, let's start. let's take all the girls and set them at the same age, post time skip. And if I had to choose, say, okay, we have so much girls to choose from. I'd have to go with. It's so hard. Oh my god. Now here's the thing. I like Chi because she's really, she's more mature and she takes care of you and she's adorable and she has big boobs and. Again, being a total guy. Alright, so yeah, I like Chi for her figure and the whole thing that's going on with her. But I can't choose Chi because I know me and I like a chick with spunk. And I think you know where I'm going with this. I would actually choose what's the girl's name with the curly hair and the ribbon?
Sayu.
Sayu. I'd choose Sayu because I always liked Sayu. Not when she was a kid though. I found she was, as a kid, when she was like the baby Sayu, I was like, she's like a total tomboy chick and she's a little baby girl and she's like the kid I would hang out with and play with. But then when she got older, I was like, she's older now, so she matches their ages and stuff. I was like, she's so adorable. Like, so adorable. Because for me, spunk equals adorableness. Like, the minute a chick is, like, super spunky with me, I'm like, oh my god, I kind of like, So, like, a chick that comes up to me is like, oh my god, Q, I like you so much. I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Such is life. And the chick who comes up to me and is like, something? You have a weird head, and something, you're kind of cute, but, you piss me off. I'm like, oh my god, I love her. So, she definitely has my love. I'm going with her. What about you?
See, this is kind of hard for me because let me see here. I would be between two of them. I mean, my first reaction is my first reaction is Smugu. Like, come on, like, he's adorable, and he got his little cute black shaggy hair, which, is got the whole emo cut going on, and I'm a sucker for the emo cut. And like, he's so quiet and he's so mysterious and he's so honest, and I love that. But I also love Kaname because he's so passionate and like he's so honest too, and he's so mature, but like he shows his emotions. And so my first gut is like, I want Smugu just because he's so adorable and I just love the mysterious, and I can't help myself, I always go for like the bad guys, like the bad boys. So that's just who I am. I'm pretty sure like every relationship I've been in has been like the bad boy. Sorry anybody who I've dated listening. Yeah, you were the bad boy in my life.
Sorry, all the listeners who were like writing a letter to Kiki. Dear Kiki, how I love you so. And then realize, holy shit, I'm too nice. She's not gonna love me anymore.
Right? Yeah. I think there was only like 2 guys I dated that weren't really bad boys. And I broke both of their hearts.
You're a horrible person and you're clear laughing.
I'm sorry.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
God. I don't think I've ever broken anyone's heart. I'm just saying. I don't think I've ever broken someone's heart. Anyone who's out there, if you think I've ever broken your heart, you can always message and say, hey, Q, you did break my heart, but I can pretty much guarantee you I don't think I've ever broken anyone's heart. It's always been the opposite way around. Yeah. Even when I had to break up with someone, it was because they were breaking my heart and I had to do it to save myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just, but...
Well... I know
for the guys that punch bunnies, so guys, go out there, get a bunny and punch it. Yeah.
Well, I know that I've broken 2 hearts, and these were okay. Let me just clarify. Like, these are people I was actually in a relationship with, which there hasn't been many, but there has been some. And I broke 2 hearts, and I may have disappointed other guys because I was like, no, I don't want to go out with you. So there may have been guys that I have disappointed, but there have been 2 hearts that I know for sure that I broke. And I don't feel bad because one of them was a complete asshole and the other one, I just didn't have the feelings for anymore. So whatever. I don't want to lie. I would rather break your heart than, lie. But I guess I got karma because, I've had my heart broken twice, so I guess, you win some and you lose some.
I know I'm starting to think that there's no such thing as karma for me because I keep getting my heart broken. So it means that, maybe I'm just, maybe I'm just supposed to, or maybe it's because Lucky Charms loves me and Curry too. That's why my heart's getting broken all the time. I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. If you're the one that's getting your heart broken all the time, that means something is happening to the girls that break your heart. Right?
Explain.
So you said that you're always getting your heart broken, right?
Yeah.
So that means that there is a girl, right, who is breaking your heart, right? So that means if she broke your heart and she was bad, then that means something bad has to happen to her, and you, of course, won't know about it because you're not her.
So the karma is her karma?
It's her karma, not your karma.
So why can't I get good karma if I don't do bad things? Why can't I get really good karma and find someone who's just like so perfect, an angel from the sky who happens to be an anime character?
Maybe you just haven't got it yet. Because I feel like now I'm even. Like me, I'm finally even. I broke 2 hearts. I've had my heart broken twice, unfortunately, like within the same year, which is by far the most horrifying experience ever. So if you have to get your heart broken, Q, make sure you spread it out, because having your heart broken twice within the same 12 months is seriously the most horrifying experience ever. But anyway,
spaced out. Yeah, I've had it spaced
out.
I don't, like, if I'm out of a relationship, I don't jump into another relationship. The minute I get out of a relationship, I turn from being the relationship guy that is so, like, into relationships into the guy who's like, well, you know what I am like when I'm not in a relationship. Yeah. I've told you.
Yeah.
So yeah, more or less, listeners, I'm not going to tell you though. So.
Yeah, I mean, well, mine was completely unintentional. Like, I didn't plan for it to happen, but it just like I won't go into details, but basically, like, the second relationship helped me get over my first heartbreak, and then, of course, he turned around and then broke my heart. So then it was like, okay, what the hell? What just happened to me in these 12 months? But it's okay, because I powered through it, because then I knew my friends were there for me, and then my new love came along, and that remains to be seen. That's to be continued. Damn. We can't go that route yet. We don't know what will happen.
You never know. And listeners, we never know what will happen if we keep talking like this. We'll maybe have a podcast that's way too long, and we maybe we'll spill things about ourselves that we may not intend to spill on the podcast. So, before we continue with this, and forget that we're actually recording the podcast and go into too much personal stuff, let's about wrap this show up. So,
yeah.
Final thoughts in this anime. Well, we already said we loved it. It was beautiful.
What's your score, Q?
My score?
It's 1
million over 1 million, thousand millions of millions. It's beautiful. You can't put it on a scale of 10. It explodes into awesomeness.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this anime, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
How dare you? Where does it lose a point to become a 9?
The only thing that bothered me was how much Monica cried.
Oh, that was annoying though, yeah.
That was the only thing that bothered me. Like, if she wouldn't have cried so much, I would have given it a 10 out of 10, because everything else was perfect. Everything else was amazing and adorable and just full of love. But then, here she goes crying again. It's like, oh, god damn. Damn it.
Word of advice to all the female listeners, guys don't like crying. Like, the minute you start crying, we don't automatically start liking it. Like, saying, oh my gosh, she's so adorable because she's crying. No, we're like, oh my god, she's freaking annoying, I need to get out of here. Like, seriously. So
right?
Try to keep your tears. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying if there's something to cry about it, but just don't cry for everything.
Right?
God, it's stupid. Like, it rains. Oh my god, I must cry.
I know, it's like, and I think that's one thing that I just need to accept with anime, and I know we discussed this early on in the podcast, but I need to just make this a point. Okay, anime, girls cry a lot. For whatever reason, artists and writers, they're just like, oh, anime girl cries right now. And it's like, okay, I get it. They like to cry a lot. But, like, holy crap, Manaka cries all the time. Like, every episode, she's crying about something. Like, oh, there's a fish on my knee. Come on, girl, just cover it. Shut up. Okay, but anyway.
Oh.
If she wouldn't have cried so much, it would be a 10 out of 10. And that whole thing with, like, you know, the electricity and the paper and the water and the fact the food could stay in the pot. I mean, if that was fixed too, then it would be a 10 out of 10.
You know what I have to say, my last few words to this anime is that I really like Sea Blue Eyes now, like so much more. I'm just like, the next girl that talks to me with blue eyes like that is gonna instantly get a date. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say, like, hey, let's go out. And seriously, here's a date, here's food and everything, and cool. I just love them. The characters' eyes, beautiful. Voice acting, pretty good. Music, I already said I loved it. You know, the main character's inner thoughts, which he would say things in his head that seemed all philosophical and then act like a 5-year-old. Weird.
Right?
You know, the characters are all cute. The art style was beautiful, interesting story, and I love it. Great anime. So I have to say,
it was fabulous.
It was beautiful.
It was a great anime, guys. We definitely are going to recommend it. Watch it. It's adorable. There's love in it. It brings out emotions at many points. Although I didn't cry, Q.
Yeah, I didn't cry either. I got close to it. Like, you know, granted, I think I would have cried if I watched it all in one go and didn't have other things to do in between.
Mm-hmm.
I may have been drawn into tears, and I may have said, you know, this is about that time where I cry. Oh, maybe not. Who knows? Either way, I didn't cry, so it's cool.
Anyway, guys, so I guess that's going to conclude our episode today. Woo, woo, woo.
Thanks for joining us for the ride.
Yeah, and Q, are you going to start me off today and I promise not to mess it up?
Aw, you think you can do this? You think that this is possible and you're not going to mess it up?
I promise. I got this. I've been preparing for this all podcast. I've been, like, saying it in my head.
Oh, so wait, you were waiting for the podcast to end all podcasts? How horrible.
No, I just mean, like, I was practicing because I didn't want to mess it up today like I always mess it up. So you may be okay. You may be okay with starting the podcast, not paying attention like always, but I don't want to always, you know.
I'm not paying attention. I told you, people are messaging me and I'm responding to romantic messages. The listeners know what I'm talking about. Anywho, with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast a lot, as much as we have enjoyed recording it for you. Of course, if you like this podcast, head on over to iTunes and, you know, give us a rating, a review, or like. We're liking how we're doing pretty well, so, like, you know, help us stay doing pretty well. So go on over to iTunes, share it with your friends. If you have someone that you love, send this podcast to them, and trust me, they will love you because they love us. So with that, Kiki, this has been
Romantic.
Is it that how we start?
Yeah.
No,
Keep
it's
going.
awkward first. You failed. You practiced all episode for this and you failed it another time. This is not happening. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm going to leave this podcast now. Listeners, good night, good morning.
No. We have to do it. No. Well, you got to
start
start.
again.
Okay.
This has been
Awkward.
It has been
Romantic.
It has been You just
I was saying romantic again. Okay. No, seriously,
I think you do this on purpose now. Now I'm just gonna you know.
No, I
have
seriously
the Lucky Charms that's calling me.
No, I seriously did not mean it. Okay, one last time, guys. I promise I won't mess it up this time.
You know what? I'm guessing 95% of listeners have left, but let's try for that 5% that are still there. This has been
Awkward.
It has been
Romantic.
It has been
Hopelessly animanic. Woo, I didn't mess up.
Ah, ain't that sweet? We done it. We're out of here, people.
Peace.